Hi, this is Zachary McNulty, and this is my Extra Credit 1 chessboard turtle module. The goal of this is to make an 8x8 chessboard. The squares vary in color every other one. And here we go. Import the turtle module. Open my screen. Assign my turtle to Muff, which is short for Muffin, my cat. I say give Muffin a color, magenta, and I set the speed to 0, which is nice and fast. And then my first function, which is a helper function. So I have a helper function and a main function. Helper function is fill square with color. I've got the size, I've got the line size, I've got the line color, and I've got the fill color. So get my colors here, got my pen size is LS, which will be user input. Pick up the pen. And what I'm going to be doing here is going back half of the size of my square. Turning left, so I'm pointed up. I'm going to go back half the size of my square, so I'm now in the lower left-hand corner of the square. I'm going to turn right 90 degrees. So I am now going to be pointed towards the east, or 0. I'm going to put my pen down. And then I begin the fill, which is sandwiched between begin fill and end fill. For I in range of 4, I'm going to go forward S, the size of the length of the side of the square. I'm going to turn 90 degrees and do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to fill it with the color. And then I'm going to, the process of moving back to the center after I have made my square. I am going to turn to the left 90 degrees, pointed up. I'm going to go forward half the length of the side of the square. I'm going to turn right 90 degrees, facing angle 0 or east, and go forward half the size of the square. So I'm now back in the center of the square. And I'm going to put the pen down. I'm ready to go. So that's my helper function. My actual function, pretty simple. I've got the side of the length of the square. I've got the line size, the line color. I got the fill color 1, fill color 2, because I got to alternate my colors, and n, which is the number of pairs of squares. So I have my starting point as x and y, x at negative 200, y at negative 100. I pick my pen up. I send Muff to x and y over there in the corner. Put my pen down. Temp is a variable I assigned that I used for switching around the colors. And then I have my first function here, which is, or my first command, which, so I've got 8 rows, and in every row I am going to make my alternate squares. So I do a square pair, and then I repeat that 8 times. A square pair is going to be 1, 2, and then since I'm doing it 4 times, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then I go and do another one. So I got a total of 8 squares, go up, do 8 more squares, go up and go 8 more squares. So fill square with color is this function up here. Pick the pen up, I go forward S, I put the pen down. I do the exact same thing here. Do another square with a different color, pick the pen up, move forward S, put the pen down. And if you remember, I stop in the center of I'm going to draw my square like this, go back up and go back in the center. So every time I'm going to go to the center of the next square, or where that square is going to be, go back, down, draw my square, fill it, go back to the center. So the turtle's doing a lot of running around here. So I do that, my pair of squares, and then what I do is after it's done doing that 4 times, I have it go back to the set position, x and y, but this time I'm adding y. I'm doing s times q, this variable here, plus 1. S is the length of the side of the square, so I'm adding the size of the square, so I'm starting up one extra size. And for every time I go through this loop, I'm going to change my fill color, so I put fill color 1 in a temporary place, change fill color 1 to fill color 2, and then assign fill color 2 to my temporary one, which was originally fill color 1. So in this case, I'll be switching between lawn green and magenta over and over again. And let's take a look. So it's moving pretty fast. Maybe I'll slow it down for you in one turn so you can see that turtle is returning to the center every time. And what's nice about that is in case I wanted to make a different size chessboard or do something kind of different, I know where my turtle's going to be every time. And you can see at the end of this, Muff went up to the center of where the next square might be. I could have hid nothing there, probably should have. So anyway, here's my chessboard, and now I'll take it through one time kind of slow for you so you can see what he's really doing, where the magic is happening. There he is. It fills, he goes back to the center, he moves forward, then moves back, down, draws a circle, or draws a square, going to the center, moving forward, moving back. So that's it. That's the chessboard. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night.